Hello. I want to share with you a little bit about your own soul's autobiography. And it dawned on me the other evening, I think it was Sunday evening on live stream, when various members and friends of our community around the world join us for a live vigil dedicated to Gaia, for the restoration of Jerusalem and the Abrahamic faith, for peace across the world. And when it came to my session, I went completely blank. And I thought, oh gosh, what do I do now? And then all of a sudden I became aware of the word soul and then autobiography. And during the session, which I've not looked at since, I know in my heart I was guided to share about our own personal autobiography that we wrote with divine guidance before we were born. And the more I reflected on the soul and reawakening the divine within us, I became more fully aware that our loving God, who's blamed by so many for the tragedies in our world, is such an injustice when really, in truth, the injustice that is happening today, right now, where children are abused, women are raped, where there is poverty, homelessness, and where religion seems to have turned a deaf ear to the plight of God's children. But the divine reawakens within us a return to our comfort zone. And that comfort zone, I believe, is our heart, where we just sit in the presence of God. Like the little old lady in Ireland, on the west coast of Ireland in the early 50s, when this young high flyer of a stunningly good-looking Catholic priest came from America, and he came on a visit, excuse me, to see how they ran a rural parish. And of course he was earmarked for cardinalship. And this little old lady sat at the back of the church, and in her hand was the rosary, that prayer to Mary. And she was fiddling away at her beads with her head bowed in reverence. And he was intrigued by her. So he had the audacity to come up and say, "Excuse me, miss, can you tell me what are you doing?" And she said, "I'm praying the rosary." He said, "What's that?" She said, "I am embracing my God." And he said, "But you have the Bible." She said, "This is my Bible." Because on these simple beads is the whole story of Christ. The 5 joyful mysteries, the 5 sorrowful mysteries, and the 5 glorious mysteries. And he stood back and he realized that it took an ordinary, humble peasant woman to challenge this young, bright scholar to revisit why he became a priest. And so it's apparent to us now as we live in this beautiful world, but sadly a world that has lost sight of its purpose, where many are grappling, many are searching for truth, and those who have surrounded themselves with materialism have come to the realization that their wealth, their status, doesn't bring that inner peace. And I became aware in the middle of this reflection on the Sunday Vigil that we were given a wonderful opportunity by our loving Father, Mother God. And that was to write our soul's autobiography, where we would choose our parents, We would choose the school we went to. We would choose our friends. We would choose our position in life. We would choose the trials, the tribulations, and all that life entails so that we could learn our lesson and ascend to glory. And interestingly, I became aware of the times when I would moan and groan and whinge, like now, with this trapped nerve that I have, where sometimes the problem overrides that inner peace and it takes us out of our comfort zone and we become distracted. We can become fretful and despairing. And that's what's happening today. Many have lost sight of who they are and why they are here. So who do we blame? We mustn't blame anyone, but we must challenge ourselves to revisit that wonderful awakening of truth that we were given by God, the opportunity to write our life story, the story of a soul, like little Thérèse of Lisieux, the journey of a soul. I believe that each child of God, regardless of their belief, regardless of whatever religion they aspire to, that we were all given the same opportunity to write the autobiography of our life, of our soul, of our journey on this earth. But first I would like to read to you from Eckhart Tolle's wonderful little book, Stillness Speaks. And this is what Eckhart said. When you know who you truly are, there is an abiding, alive sense of peace. You could call it joy because that's what joy is. Vibrantly alive peace. It is the joy of knowing yourself at the very life essence before life takes on form. That is the joy of being who you truly are. So if you're in a place right now and you feel overwhelmed by the fear of the unknown, by the fear of, for example, the possibility of losing your job, your wife, your children, your partner, your family, your income in this global recession, there is hope. And the hope is the promise that you and I were given from the very moment we were conceived in love, to reawaken our soul's autobiography, to sit in quietness, in silence, switch off the mobile phone, the iPad, go into a place of stillness, light a candle, focus on the light of that flame, visualize it as your love or the love of a divine for you. And then use your gift of free will. Invite, invoke, and ask the messengers of God, the angelic realm, who do not represent religion. They do represent love, divine love. And if you're a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Sikh, a Jew, Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. What matters is, before religion, the I am presence existed. Love is present. So embrace that love. Allow it to touch you. Allow it to reawaken within you your contract, your sacred contract. And look at your soul's autobiography, the journey of your soul, and why you agreed to come into this life. Why you agreed to all that is happening right now in your life. And if there is deep-rooted sadness, name it. Bless it. Own it. Release it. That is not failure. That is wisdom. And then invite the divine into your space. Invite the messengers of God back into your life. And listen to what they are saying to you. Honor what you are given. And if you feel lost, know there is hope. Your soul's autobiography is your journey towards God. Bless you.